Hey everybody, top 5 shows that were in the 1960s. We got Cody Boccia, Subhash Santosh, Kristen Plati, and Joseph Mwamba. So let's just go around the table, the top 5 shows. What's up with you, Kristen?
So I got Get Smart, The Munsters, Mad Men, American Horror Story, Asylum, and The Wonder Years.
Alright, and Subhash?
Nice. I have Bewitched, The Dick Van Dyke Show, The Flintstones, and Masters of Sex.
Alright, and Cody?
My top 5 are Mad Men, American Horror Story, Asylum, Happy Days, The Wonder Years, and Scooby-Doo.
Awesome. And so, all your lists are pretty much very much the same type of list you guys created, because it's all just a hodgepodge of shows from the 60s and then also shows that are modern, that are on right now that kind of like reflect the 60s. I also made an interesting observation trying to break these things out. You guys chose pretty much 1960s comedies and modern dramas that cover the 60s. There's no dramas from the 60s, and there's no and I don't think there are any comedies that really cover the 60s that are today. But I find it interesting you guys didn't choose any dramas from the 60s.
I think also what a huge part is of what's accessible for us today. Like, it seems like the 60s comedies are what we see on reruns, or are still like played on TV Land or other things that we watch. So it seems like they've stood the test of time in a weird way.
Also, maybe the 60s dramas, the quality of TV drama was not as good as maybe the movies back then. But TV comedies were probably better than the TV dramas.
The short, like 20, 30-minute episodes of...
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can still laugh at at the 60s TV comedies, that means they're so funny. But I don't know if the 60s... Like, dramas, I don't know if they're as good.
So I think that, for the most part, I think we can agree that the top 5 list for Telemazing should be a hodgepodge of both the 60s and the modernization of the 60s, as opposed to just choosing one or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, so from your list, choose your top 3 shows that you think should definitely be on this list.
I have Get Smart, Mad Men, and The Wonder Years.
I have Masters of Sex, Dick Van Dyke Show, and Bewitched.
Mad Men, American Horror Story, Asylum, and Scooby-Doo.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to break this up into categories. First off, I'm going to pretty much advance Mad Men into the final 5, just because it seems like most of you guys are all about Mad Men. So we'll move that on.
I would like to vote Scooby-Doo in.
Scooby-Doo, like, automatically.
Yeah, I believe because it's an animation that it's something different that we don't have on the list. It's not represented anywhere else, but I think it's a great TV show, and I think it's enjoyable, and it's enjoyable for all ages.
It's an animated show with a laugh track that also has celebrity guest stars that are playing themselves, not celebrities like doing other characters and voices like the Harlem Globetrotters play the Harlem Globetrotters. Sandy Duncan plays Sandy Duncan. It also has this like weird, I don't know, Law and Order quality is the correct thing, but this whole who did it thing that like you watch, like you're trying to figure out who committed the crime from beginning to end, so there is somewhat of a mystery element to it, as opposed to just like a regular situational comedy.
So Mad Men and Scooby-Doo are in as a fan. But then you also have two other dramas that you guys have chosen. There's Masters of Sex, and then there's American Horror Story, Asylum.
I would say Masters of Sex because I don't know, the outlook of sex radically changed during the 60s, and the research that the Masters and his assistant, I forget her name, played by, I forget her name.
Lizzie Kaplan.
Lizzie Kaplan, yeah. Their work was really important in the field of sex, and so I feel that show should be on the list because it changed the way you look at it.
That's a prime example of what Cody was saying before, how like that would never have been allowed on TV in the 60s, but it's a really good representation of what happened behind closed doors and what was actually happening in society in the 60s, regardless of what was shown on television. A lot of the sitcoms that were coming out were very like under-sexualized and very
family friendly.
And like this is a show that was showing what was going on at the time, like what progress was being made, but wasn't being shown.
It takes the most hush-hush topic of the 60s
and
makes it the topic of the show in the 60s.
So you guys have 3 shows as of right now out of the 5 slots. You have Mad Men, Scooby-Doo, and Masters of Sex. So you guys have 2 more slots left for the 4 so you have to choose 2 of the next 4 comedies. You have Dick Van Dyke Show, you have Bewitched, you have The Wonder Years, which was in the 80s that covered the 60s, and then you have Get Smart. I'll say my 2 picks would be Wonder Years and Dick Van Dyke. Those would be my 2.
Mine would be probably Wonder Years and Bewitched.
Okay.
I just have the one. I think Dick Van Dyke Show should be on that list. I'm not really familiar with the other 2.
Okay.
I vote the Wonder Years definitely, but I say Get Smart.
So I think out of everybody, Wonder Years and Dick ended up getting the most votes, I believe.
I probably agree. I'm not a huge watcher of Dick Van Dyke
Right,
shows, so I just couldn't vote for that. But knowing, like, I know
I
it.
do like
I
Dick
know
Van
it
Dyke.
because of how iconic it is.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah. So we already have a top 5. We have Scooby-Doo, we have Mad Men, we have Masters of Sex, we have Wonder Years, and we have the Dick Van Dyke Show. So now it's time to rank them. And when I say rank them, we typically would do the top 5, like what should be number 1, what should be number 2. But really for top 5 shows for the list, it's more of like what's going to be the first show they should watch and what's the second show they should watch.
I think shows that were produced then should be watched first, and then once you watch those shows, you can watch the shows that reflect upon it and what really happened.
I don't think you'd appreciate those shows as much if you didn't have somewhat of an idea of what it exactly.
Yeah. Dick Van Dyke Show, Scooby-Doo, Wonder Years, Master of Sex, and Mad Men.
I like that list.
Huh?
I might put Wonder Years above Masters of Sex, just because I think it.
Well, that's what.
But then I feel like you're going Dick Van Dyke Show, Scooby Doo. So you're gonna go like more kids show than anything. Then Masters of Sex. I feel like that's a huge leap to make.
Scooby-Doo,
Wonder
Scooby-Doo into the Wonder
Years.
Years.
Like you're growing up.
So then,
with the
would you
Wonder
make an argument
Years.
to make Scooby-Doo first and then over
No,
Dick Van
I
Dyke?
like Dick Van Dyke first because it's reality. Like it's humans
Sets the playing
in that
field too.
in that environment.
All right, so the list that you guys came up with is the first show anybody should watch if they're in 1960 is the Dick Van Dyke Show. Then Scooby-Doo will be number 2. Number 3 will be the Wonder Years. Number 4, Masters of Sex, and then number 5, Mad Men. That's good.
Done.
We can lock it in.
Lock it in, Eddie.
Done and done.
And so that's our top 5 list. If you are from 1960, if you guys enjoyed this segment, please make sure that you guys like the video below and also subscribe. We have so much stuff we do. We have all our YouTube videos over here. We also have our new podcast that just got a new episode yesterday, so make sure you click on the iTunes button. Along with that, we also have a live show on Wednesdays too, so check us out on Periscope. Otherwise than that, for Subhash, for Kristen, for Cody, I'm Joseph Mwamba. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.